What is going on, everyone? Today we need to talk about the Chelsea versus Liverpool game and what came from this match. I want to do my three takeaways, so stick around as we dive deeper into this match. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike. I'm a huge Chelsea fan, which is obviously why we are talking about this match. And it was one of the bigger matches this past weekend for week 3 in the Premier League. Now, as we saw, there were some controversial calls in this match. We'll get to that in just a little bit, but what we saw was Chelsea playing super well with 10 men for the second half. And again, I'm just blown away with how well Chelsea have looked since Thomas Tuchel has come in. Now, don't take anything away from Liverpool. They definitely had their chances, but just could not convert. And therefore, the game did end 1-1. And again, I'm very happy with that result. So if you're new to this channel, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. So let's get into the three takeaways from this match. Now, the first one, I know I've talked about this multiple times before, but again, I need to hit on it each and every time it shows up, and that is Chelsea's defense. I don't care what you say, they looked rock solid even after we went down a man. Yes, Reece James did go out, but again, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, and then even Thiago Silva came in for Kai Havertz. All those players just looked so great. They were able to shut down so many opportunities that Liverpool presented to them. They were able to clear multiple crosses, block plenty of shots, interceptions, dictate passes, and things along those lines, and get the result that they needed to do. Now, prior to Thomas Tuchel, I don't think this would have ever happened at Chelsea with Frank Lampard. I love the manager, I love the player, but we just didn't have the right caliber players and the right mindset when he was there. But with Thomas Tuchel, we're able to know we can grind games out even again if we are down a player, and we saw that happen against one of the better teams, Liverpool, who possibly could win the Premier League this season. And just the fact that we were able to keep up with them with 10 guys just shows how well Thomas Tuchel's philosophy has been adapted to these players and how well Chelsea stacked up this year. And moving forward, they are definitely a team to be reckoned with because they can beat any given team on any given day and also compete with any team even if they are down a player. Now, our second takeaway, this one has to go then to Mendy. Yes, I talked about defense, but again, your defense can only be so good with how good your keeper is. Now, prior to Mendy being there, we had Kepa, and as we know, there were so many issues with him on and off the field, and you never knew who was going to step up to each and every game, and there were so many goals that were scored that shouldn't have been scored from outside the box. And Mendy has been able to fill that gap in and just been so rock solid that he's probably one of the better signings we've had in the last couple of seasons. If he's not there, I think we lose this game. We also don't look as good in defensive mindset because, again, he's able to dictate, tell players where to be. And again, he blocks so many shots outside the box. Virgil van Dijk had a long-range shot, which, again, I think any keeper should save. But, again, if Kepa would have been there, who knows that that shot may have gone in. But Mendy's there, made the save, made multiple saves, multiple clearances, was, again, a voice that could just call out what he needed to. And, therefore, again, we were able to get the result that we needed to. And then the third takeaway has to deal with the reffing. Now, yes, I know the red card was warranted. Don't get me wrong, that was the right call. Unfortunate for Reece James, again, just in the wrong position. Went off his thigh, went off his hand, and obviously they need to call that. It is a goal-scoring opportunity, so the red card is warranted. So I'm not going to say anything about that. But Anthony Taylor, throughout this match, made so many terrible calls. For example, Mohamed Salah in the first half kicks the ball away after some calls made. Nothing, no card. Typically, that would be a straight yellow card, and that changes how Mohamed Salah plays that game then. Fabinho, multiple fouls throughout this game, a lot of tactical fouls. Don't fault him for that, but typically those start adding up, and that should lead to a yellow card as well. And then throughout this entire match, Liverpool had multiple fouls and never led to a yellow card, but somehow they were a clean team. But again, Anthony Taylor just hates Chelsea, and I know there's petitions going out there saying he should never ref a Chelsea game again. I mean, I think he can still ref Chelsea games, but at the same time, he needs to be watched with a finer line because, again, he does make a lot of iffy calls when it comes to Chelsea, as we've seen in recent games in the last couple seasons against Arsenal, where there was a handball, a red card, Kovacic being sent off. And again, people are probably upset with the red card in this game, but again, it was warranted. So that is my 3 takeaways from this match. But again, I want to mention how good Chelsea looked, even with 10 men. So if we can keep up with Liverpool with 10, I'm really curious to see how well we do with 11 players against Manchester City, Manchester United against Liverpool again, and even in the Champions League, since we are the champions of Europe. I think we can have a really long run, not only in the Champions League, in the Premier League, but also all the other tournaments such as the FA and League Cup as well. Because again, Thomas Tuchel has done such a phenomenal job with this club that we really are, I want to say, should be winning a lot of titles, because again, there are teams out there, but we should be at least in the finals to possibly win these titles and these trophies. Because again, what Thomas Tuchel is building at Chelsea is going to be almost a dynasty, because again, we've already won the Champions League, and this was prior to Tuchel even having a full season, getting the players they want, and now he had a full preseason. We can already see how well he's been able to adapt some of these players, their philosophy, the tactics. Players know exactly what they need to do, and they can really show on the field how well he's dictating these players. So again, Chelsea have a really bright future moving forward. And again, I think Romelu Lukaku is also going to be one of the solid players that we picked up this season. So that is all I have for you today. Comment down below what you thought about the Liverpool versus Chelsea game. Again, if you thought it was a little more biased with the reffing. Again, if you thought there should have been a better result for Chelsea, I want to know. So again, comment down below. And if you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that, and we will see you next time.